Okay, so that's something that's really important to get across the way to set it up, It's actually fine for you to go with what Meta recommends. I think it's going to be for your own best interest, especially if you are a beginner in the advertising space. If you're going to change it up, make sure that you use other strategies I talked about in the exclusive video that covers the A to Z of placement. So you will find it in the complete course. So if you pick up the complete course, you have access to the exclusive video that talked about everything that you need to know. Okay, so now we are going to go through the ad set level. We've done the campaign level, so now let's move to the level 2, which is the ad set level. And one more last thing I want to quickly touch on here before we move on is the audience definition. This thing on here, over here, on this other side, you can see it, right? So that's Meta giving you a kind of a bit of a guide for the audience size. Like, are they too specific? Are they too broad? Are they sort of nicely in the middle? So it's kind of giving you a glimpse, of what the whole audience size is. Again, if I'm using Advantage Plus audience, I don't really, worry so much about this audience size because Meta is going to go beyond this to show my ads to whoever it deems fit, right? So, like I have explained earlier, it is not a big deal, really. It's not a big deal. But if you're using the original audience setup, just be careful about the estimated audience size. Just be careful. Make sure it is not too small. Make sure your estimated audience size here, as indicated, is not really too small. So you see here, we've got this size to this size. That's great. In an ideal world, you wouldn't, have this estimated audience size. In an ideal world, you wouldn't really have this estimated audience size here. However, if you're using the original audience setup, ensure you don't go below 500,000 people. That would be a kind of a minimum for you, right? Personally, I don't worry too much about the maximum size of it. We will sometimes target just absolutely everyone. What you should be concerned about is to ensure that your audience size is not too small. And obviously, with some, local businesses, 500,000 maybe, something almost impossible to get depending on your location. If there are only 50,000 people in your local area, or maybe 10,000 people in your local area, then that's fine for you to go ahead and run your ad. If that's the only people you can serve. But if you're not a local business, maybe you're advertising nationally or internationally to a decent sized population, I would just advise that you watch out for the audience size. Make sure it's not too small. Let it be broad enough that Facebook will have enough data to work with. In either case, Meta will give you warning about this audience size. On this other side, if it's too small, Meta is going to let you know that this is relatively too small or too big or something like that. So don't just worry, just check it out and then adjust accordingly. All right. Next is estimated daily results. You see, in general, these are really, really, really very inaccurate. These daily results, this estimated daily results, in practical terms, in general, they are mostly inaccurate. So if Meta said things like you may get zero leads, you may get zero sales, don't worry about that. You don't need to worry about that. Just go ahead and run your campaign. Particularly when your ad account is fresh. I mean, if your ad account is new, just ignore that. It's not accurate. Just run your ad. Meta doesn't really know. It doesn't know because there's no data to to base that estimation on. So that's why I said mostly it is inaccurate. It's tested and proven. So honestly, they are just kind of guessing. So it's not something to particular stress yourself about. Okay, so now it is time to jump to the level 3, the ad level. We've done the first level, which is campaign level. We've done the second level, which is the ad set level. Now we're going to go into the third level, which is the final level, and this is the ad level. So as usual, we need to name this. We have to put a name to this ad level. In terms of ad name, I did recommend that just name it something that's going to make sense at a glance, so that you don't get confused when you have a whole lot of campaign. It's trying to guess which one is which. So name is something that will make it easy for you to recognize. So that's usually going to be based on the image or the video that you're going to use at this ad level, as well as the headlines. Anyway, just things like that. You don't need to worry about that right now because we can always do that at the end of setting up this ad. Then over here we have partnership ad section. You know, if you're going to be running ad in partnership with other creators or brand and probably other business, then you can turn this on if it's something that you know you'll be doing. So you can go ahead and turn this on. But if you're not going to do it, just forget it. Is not really something that I think you need at this very moment, and it's very unlikely that you're going to be doing that anyway. So as usual, I won't worry about that. Then next over here is what we call identity. So all you need to do is to make sure that you get the right Facebook page selected. If you have multiple, Facebook page, make sure that you select the exact Facebook page you want to use for this, ad. Same is also applicable to your Instagram account. If you have multiple Instagram account, ensure that you select the exact Instagram account you want to run the ad from. Over here, you can see there is a section, an option for you to connect your Instagram account to your business manager if you have not already done so. Okay, so then we get down to the ad setup section. Now look at, there are a couple of options in here. So we've got the option 1, create ad, which is the default, by the way. And we also could use an existing post. So if you have an existing post on your Instagram page or your Facebook page, you can also use that existing post. So if you've got like a video or an image on Facebook or Instagram that you really like, and you want to just go ahead and use it as an ad just to get started, right? You can also do that. So that's what it means by using an existing post. Maybe you posted something, a picture, whatever it is, a content, and you want to use that, to run an ad. You can go ahead and use that existing post. If that's the case, all you need to do is just to click on this select existing post. Then you see various options. You can go ahead and select that. You can just scroll down, select whichever one is ideal for you. But from experience, most people are always going to like to create their own ad from the scratch. They don't really want to, use an existing post. They just want to go ahead and create a fresh thing that is relevant to what they want to do. I think that is something you should also consider doing. So I'm going to do just exactly that. So here I'm going to go through to, demonstrate this create ad option. So I'll click on create ad option. All right. Okay. Creative Hub Makeup. It's not something you need to, worry about at this stage. Then we've got a manual upload. You see, you can see there is a catalog option depending on what you are, advertising and how it is set up. Like for example, you can import a catalog of your products from maybe Shopify, Jumia, etc. That's if you're an e-commerce store and you run a catalog, kind of advert, something like that. It's something I definitely recommend that you do as an advertiser, but not yet, especially if you're still a beginner. You have to take it step by step. Let's get started with something really simple. And along those lines, we are going to keep it really simple with a format as well. So we are going to go ahead and use, in this case, just a single image. We can experiment later on with video carousels and all that sort of stuff. We are going to go with a single image, as I said. I want this to be very straightforward for you so that you can publish and run your ad immediately. Later on, you can, master the more complex aspects as you practice along. All right. Okay. So we also have here the multi-advertisers ad under here, this means that when someone clicks on someone X ad, are you happy for Facebook to, display your ad along with those, other ads? It's not really something I think you should worry yourself about at the moment. I'm not a big fan of these multi advertisers ads. Okay, then we go down into the ad creative section. The first thing we want to do is to add in our own image or our own video. In this case, we are going to go ahead and add in an image. We'll add an image. So there's a few different options in here. You may already have an image in your ad account, right? In this case, that would be account image. Just go ahead and click that. So you see various options here. You can also click on this. There might be image that you got maybe on your Instagram profile. You want to use that, go ahead and select that. You may also want to use probably an image you have on your Facebook page. You want to use that, you can go ahead and select the image you have on your Facebook page. For example, if I'm interested in getting an image from my Instagram in account, if I click on the Instagram image, for example, you see here there are various options from Instagram that I could go ahead and select and use. But I'm going to go ahead and go back to the account image. I'm going to upload a new image that I have saved to my desktop, and I'm going to go ahead over here, select that, and then I'm going to go ahead and do this, click next. Now, just to quickly explain again the type of ad that we are going to be running here. I am going to be, running an ad for an interior design business. It's something that is very quite visual. And in this case, we are going to be offering something fairly simple. And I think is a good demonstration for a service-based business, But I also have a section in the full course where I discussed an e-commerce based business and the business that is, all about generating sales. You want an outright sales, probably someone to go to your website, Shopify, or your website to buy things and all of that stuff. I have a video section in the full course.